Captain J. Talford Henry.
Don
How you doing,
Harold.
you son of a gun?
Don Harold, good to see you, sir. Not too many of us old guard down here at the courthouse all that often these days. How are you? What brings you down here?
What do you mean, old guard? You better be careful with that. I've only got 8 years on you, young fella. I was just in a pretrial conference with Judge Levinson.
Okay.
Custody case. So how about you?
Just doing a little deed research cleanup for an upcoming commercial closing, you know, the life of a dirt lawyer. So how's your practice? You staying busy?
Pretty much, but maybe not for long.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking about winding things down.
You don't mean you're talking about retiring now? No, not you. No, I figured you'd go like the rest of us with the legal pad in your left hand and the rules of evidence in your other hand. Probably right in the middle of a hearsay objection.
Your Honor, if you want to exclude this evidence for my client, then the least you can do is do it for me, a dying man.
Well, I'm glad, but what are you going to do with yourself now, though?
I haven't worked out all the details yet, but I have a few ideas. And as you might imagine, so does Alice.
I'm sure.
Say, you know, Tal, the one thing I have learned in considering all of this is that it's really quite an enterprise, retiring is. I don't mean to pry, but have you given it any thought?
Me? No, no, I feel like I've got a pretty good long while here to go. No, not thinking about it at all, actually.
Well, sure, and don't take this the wrong way, but you really might want to start considering it.
I don't really see why. I mean, I've just had my best year in 10 years as a solo practitioner, and feel pretty good. I can still get around. Still got my wits about me as far as I know.
Of course, I didn't mean to imply anything at all. I just meant, you know, at some point, don't you want to live the good life?
Good life? I'm not sure what you mean. I mean, I don't play golf. Gave up fishing when it got too damn expensive, and, well, ever since Rebecca was... Well, anyway, you know, like you said, I've got, you know, about 8 years behind you, so I've got some time here on this. I'm not really on my radar right now, but I appreciate you mentioning it. Well, so is that it for your practice then? I mean, we'll miss you.
Oh, I'm going to be around for a little while here, but I think I have found a way for my practice to continue on even after I'm gone.
Oh, well, that's good for you. That's fantastic. It's not something I'm really thinking about now, but I wish you well. I hope it goes well.
If you change your mind, you want to talk, just...
Oh, you know what? Actually, I've got a client who's going to be arriving at the office before too long, and so I probably need to run, but...
Sure.
I really do wish you the best. I really hope that goes well.
We'll see you around.
All right. Take care. Tell Alice hello.
Hey there.
Hey yourself. Have we heard back from the guy at Wells Fargo about the loan package for the Upton closing?
No, not yet. And your 2 o'clock's gonna be late.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll give me a good chance to return a few phone calls then. Saw Don Harold down at the courthouse.
Oh, really? How is Don?
Well, apparently he is retiring, if you can believe that.
As a matter of fact, I can. Happens to good people.
I suppose.
Did he give you any ideas?
Me? I'm not going anywhere anytime soon, which I would think would be good news for you anyway.
Well, it is for now at least. But everybody's going to stop at some point. Have you ever thought about what's going to happen to me when you do stop?
Sylvia, you know that I believe you are the finest assistant that a lawyer could ask for. I'm sure you'll land on your feet and be fine.
As much as I appreciate that, the truth is I'll be like 58, 59, or 60 by then. And I'm going to still need to work, and who's going to hire me at that age? When you go, I'm going to have to go.
We can cross that bridge when we get to it.
I suppose so, if we ever get to that bridge. Remember what happened to George Plumley's practice?
Was he the guy that his heart went out on him while he was sitting in the middle of the traffic jam?
Mm-hmm. And he left a mess for his assistant. Didn't they have to call in the bar to bring in someone to take over his existing matters?
Well, that's apples and oranges. Plumley was pushing 70, overweight, and smoked like a chimney. I just had a physical, and my doctor said I was, and I quote, fit as a fiddle.
Well, I'm sure you are, and I hope you stay that way for a very, very long time. What's Don's plan? What are they going to do, close up shop?
No, he said something about having a way for his practice to continue on without him. I'm not really sure what he meant.
Oh, wait a minute. I remember hearing about that. They hired this young guy who used to live here and moved to Albuquerque and was working with Davis in Maine. And then he moved back here.
It's all I need, some kid around here that I'd have to babysit. No thanks. Besides, I'd be interested in working in a little run-of-the-mill dirt law practice around here anyway.
Wasn't it you that was just telling me that there weren't enough jobs for the law students graduating from law school? And I'm sure some of them would love to work for a small firm.
Maybe so, but my clients come here because they value me, they trust me. Daniel McCarroll at First Federal has been my client for 20 years. I can't just hand him off to some newbie fresh out of law school.
You wouldn't be handing him off. You would be teaching them the proper way to practice law and introducing him around. Or her. And besides, you know Daniel will not be at the bank forever.
Still sounds like a lot more work than it would be worth. You remember the one time I actually tried to have an associate? What was that guy's name?
Saul Balsamo? That's not even worth comparing. He didn't even want to be a lawyer.
See what I mean? 0 for 1. Odds can't get much worse than that.
Oh, Tal, you are something else.
Right now, I think I'd like to talk about something else, or maybe not talk at all. I really need to finish reviewing this closing package, if you don't mind.
See ya.
Hey, Tal. Good to see you. How have you been?
Good to see you, Don. I'm not too bad. Can't complain.
Well, I hear you. Did you hear about Hank Willman?
You mean Hank the Tank? What about him?
Oh, Tal, it's so sad. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but Hank passed away yesterday morning.
What?
Yeah.
Just like that?
Doctor said it was a cerebral hemorrhage, a stroke. Happened right in the shower. I wouldn't have known, except my brother did his estate planning, and they called him late last night.
Well, son of a...
I know. But you and he went to law school together, didn't you?
Yes. Yeah, I've known Hank like 40 years. That can't be. I mean, he just ran a 10K this summer. I mean, the guy was strong as an ox.
I know. That's why they called him the Tank. And that, because, you know, it kind of rhymed, I suppose. But I feel really, really bad for Donna.
I can imagine. I mean,
my brother says she's really broken up.
Oh, they were married over 35 years. I mean, it's got to be awful. Well, if you hear anything about when the arrangements are and the services, let me know.
I will.
Well, you know that future planning stuff that you were talking about? Well, I figure maybe at least I want to hear you out and hear kind of what's going on and maybe start thinking about it, I guess.
Okay. Well, sure. Sounds good. Anytime.
All right. Well, thank you. And please give my best to Alice.
I will. Thank you. I know you didn't invite me here just to talk about fashion foul-ups, as much fun as that truly is.
Well, yes, you were right. So I have been thinking a little bit about your situation, what you've described that you're doing, and I am not ready to retire yet anytime soon. I still feel like I have a few good years left in me, but I am interested in maybe hearing a little bit more about how this works, what you're doing.
That makes perfect sense, Tal. I'm with you. You know, the good thing is you've got plenty of time. You've got plenty of ways to go about this. It worked out well for me, but I got pretty lucky.
I would hardly say luck has anything to do with it now. You have one of the most reputable family law practices in town. Everybody says so.
Well, thank you, Tal. That's very kind of you, and I really feel like I have been blessed.
Well, that's kind of what's puzzling me. I'm trying to figure out, why would you want to give all that up?
Well, Part of me doesn't want to be quite honest. But I've been thinking about this, and it seems to me that has to be another phase of life, so to speak. I mean, a time to step back, to learn how to sail, to reclaim some of the time while I still have it left.
But I don't think you can really practice law part-time, law being a jealous mistress and all.
I can't tell you how many times I've heard that. And there's some truth to it, I suppose. But see, that is what I really love about this approach that I am taking. It allows me to keep both hands in the pie, so to speak, while gradually stepping away. And, I for one have never been one to quit anything cold turkey.
And this works out okay financially, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, that's the plan, okay? There's no guarantees, all right? What really turned me on to this was the thought that there was value built up over time in my practice that I could continue to access even after I was no longer there. The trick is finding a way to capture it without continuing to practice from the Oak Knoll retirement homes.
Well, that's one of the puzzles for me, though, because I'm just not sure how anybody would see much value in this place. It's a little real estate shop. I mean, we do fine, but...
Let me ask you this, Tal. What if you died? Or what if you went into the hospital for a long time?
Okay, that's a bit morbid.
Well, work with me here. Let's say you decided to take 3 or 4 weeks off and you didn't tell anybody, but you didn't go out trying to gin up new business either. Do you really think the phone wouldn't ring the next day? Or really for this day and time? I mean, do you think that your inbox wouldn't continue to fill up with emails for some time?
That's probably true.
Well, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's the value of future business. You haven't been thinking about this because of the times that you and I came up in. But what you've been doing while you were building a reputation as a damn fine lawyer, and believe me, my friend, that's how people think about you. You've also been creating a brand. It's a way of doing things that works. It's a way to close deals while minding all the P's and Q's.
Well, if I'm honest, a lot of that is Sylvia. She's the one who likes to get down in the details and wrangle with the devil that's always there.
Well, of course. And I bet she knows how to keep all the clients happy. Am I right?
She does. She's fantastic at that.
She knows what kind of information to give to them. She knows which ones need hand-holding and which ones don't.
This is true.
Well, what you just told me there is that all the knowledge and maybe a lot of the client relationships won't just go walking out the door with your old ass.
Well, see, that's the other thing, though. Sylvia and I were kind of old school. I mean, we came up in the days when you had to go down into the Register of Deeds and pull up the transcripts and pull up the judgments and everything. And these days, everything's getting all technological. There's everybody online and new processes down at the courthouse, new processes for lenders. Oh my goodness, these secure emails that we have to navigate through just to get a piece of information, and it's really a bit overwhelming.
Well, see, there's an opportunity. Why not let somebody new navigate all that? Bring technology in, it diversifies your offering, and it helps keep you on top of things.
So that's why you've brought in this associate then?
Andy Kemper. He's a great guy. I was really lucky to find him.
So you just hand him the files, hand him the keys, and you go sailing off into the sunset.
Well, not exactly, although, I'm still learning how all this works. But, I was looking at a longer term thing when I hired Andy in a year ago. And it really changed what I look for in an associate. Some seasoning, some experience. He's interested in establishing his own practice, or, well, in this case, taking on an established practice and growing it.
So how'd you find him?
Well, that's where I got lucky. He actually called me. He'd been calling around to solo practitioners in the area, trying to get back here where he grew up. Since then, though, I have found out that there are actual practice brokers, people who look to put together willing sellers with interested buyers.
I had no idea.
Think about it, Tal. Dentists do it. Orthodontists do it. Hell, you've probably helped these guys buy their own buildings so they could lease them back to their successors. Mm-hmm. Those guys plan for a handoff. Why don't lawyers?
Well, I've been thinking about that. And I mean, one of the differences is physicians have these, a lot of investment in infrastructure. They have these staffs and technology and equipment and lots of, long-term accounts receivable and all this, and it's just a different animal. And really what it comes down to for me isn't what we do in the law. I mean, it feels like it's a bit more personal legal services that we provide.
Well, I don't know if it could be much more personal than my last visit with my urologist. So, the deal with Andy is that I'm going to train him up, I'm going to introduce him around, I'm going to get him acclimated, and then gradually I'll start taking fewer and fewer new cases. I'll still be around to mentor him and help him out if he gets stuck.
It still sounds kind of like a lot of work, though. How is that retirement, really?
Well, yeah, it is kind of, but that's actually good for Andy and I. It's kind of like a relay race, okay? I mean, you don't realize how long that both runners have a hold of the baton. They're running stride for stride until one of them slows down and the other one pulls away. Frankly, it's really going very well. And I think it won't be long before Andy can go on without me.
Sounds like you've found a bit of a diamond in the rough there. There can't be too many of those kind of folks around, though.
Well, you might be surprised. Are you really interested in pursuing this?
I said I am open to thinking about considering looking into it.
Understood. Well, in that case, I might have someone in mind that you might want to invite to have a conversation to help you look into considering it.
Okay, I'm listening.
Her name is Robin Rainey. Okay, we had her in as a summer associate last year. She's very impressive. She's whip smart. She's great with the clients. The one thing is Robin's interested in transactional law, and so she really wasn't interested in my practice. The law is a second career for Robin. She was in banking and finance before, which for me seems like she'd be a natural for real estate. She might even be interested in bringing in some corporate and securities work.
All right, now, hold on a minute. I said I'm open to considering this fairly radical idea, and you've got me building a practice with multiple practice areas, and I got out of that world a long time ago, and with good reason. Besides, the thought of handing my practice over to a woman is a little bit hard to envision. Now, if you tell Sylvia I said that, I'll deny it.
Secret's safe with me, long as I'm not subpoenaed by the EEOC.
Fair point.
Look, here's an idea. Why don't you just have a casual conversation with Robin? See what she thinks. No promises, no pressure. See if you guys get along. In an odd way, it's more like dating than it is recruiting. Okay, you're looking for the right fit, and it might take some time. In the meantime, you're not making any commitments. Neither is she.
It's been a little while since I've done any sort of dating of any sort. Not since Rebecca.
I'm sorry, Tal.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Actually, this is a little bit easier to conceptualize, to think about than actual going on a real date. I'm not sure the world is quite ready for old Tal to be back on the prowl again, if you know what I'm saying.
Oh my gosh. And you couldn't imagine how surprised that loan officer was when she walked in and saw the buyer dressed in a Batman costume.
Oh, no.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Complete with utility belt and everything. I had to at least make him take his mask down so we could get a positive ID so Sylvia could notarize his signature.
I remember you swore that we would never do another closing afternoon on Halloween. And how long did that last?
Well, it turns out it's actually an incredibly popular time for real estate closings.
Oh, yeah, no, I can believe that. When I was working at the credit union, we saw a significant uptick in lending opportunities in October. I guess it's the time of the year that everybody can close and move in before the holidays.
Yes, and Tal decided that if he could beat him, he was going to join him. And that very next year, he dressed as the construction worker for the village people.
I would have liked to see that.
Now, Sylvia, we don't want to scare the nice young lady off, so I think we better just hush and stop with that one. Besides, I believe it may have been your appearance as the police officer that was actually the jaw dropper.
Oh, my.
Well, on that note, I'm going to take leave and let you two get back to business. It was so nice to meet you, Robin. And if you need me, I'm right around the corner. He can get a little bit testy sometimes.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Sylvia. I sure will. Thank you for all the hospitality thus
my
far.
pleasure. Anytime.
Okay. She is so sweet.
She is. I'm so grateful to have her. I'm really thankful that you all hit it off.
I can't imagine anyone not being able to get along with her. She is delightful.
As you can imagine, she's great with the clients as well. It's incredibly helpful. So I have had a chance to review your resume, your letters of recommendation, and I'm very impressed. I mean, you've obviously accomplished a lot both before law school and during.
Thank you very much. It has been a lot of hard work, but I have enjoyed the entire process all the way through.
You know, that means a lot if you can say you've enjoyed it. This is not always an easy profession to practice. So tell me what it was that brought you to go to law school at this juncture in your life.
You know, Tal, that's a very good question. I feel as if I had done all that I wanted to do in the banking world, and I needed a change and a chance to work on deals and negotiating them from the legal standpoint. I have an eye for detail and a certain skill set that would be useful on that side. A lot of people don't like due diligence, but I like diving deep into details and checking them off on a big to-do list.
That will serve you well in this profession, for sure.
Also, once my kids got into high school, I felt like going back to school was doable. And the evening program at Santa Clara is an amazing program that helps us non-traditional students. They offer a lot of support.
I'm not sure anybody would have used that word, support, to describe my law school experience. Tell me what you're looking for as you are finishing up your studies and take the bar exam this summer.
Well, I have been interviewing at different firms of various sizes, and I do have a couple of offers, but I've spent a great deal of time at banks and larger organizations, and I feel as if that's why I went towards law, to get an opportunity to do something that, I don't know, a little more independent.
I spent 2 decades practicing law at a large law firm before I realized that I might be better off working for myself, and then took another 5 or 6 years to get the courage to hang my own shingles, so I think you might be a little bit ahead of the game.
Well, I do feel as if I don't have time to play around and figure out where I fit in at a big firm. Yes, the money would be nice, but I've got some ideas about how to run a business, and I have things that I want to get done from the get-go. So, don't get me wrong. Now, I do know that I still have a lot to learn. And if I even pass the bar. And I'm not ready to hang a shingle out for myself. I don't think that would be the best idea yet.
There's probably a lot of wisdom in that.
So when Mr. Harold told me about you, oh, and by the way, he told me that you are still working on a plan for yourself, so I don't expect anything.
You don't need to worry about that. Don's an excellent man. I'm really grateful to him for introducing us.
Mm-hmm. I'm really interested in a smaller firm and this opportunity. I would love to learn from somebody who's been around the block, who knows how everything works from the bottom up. So what are your thoughts about mentoring?
I could only speak to what I've learned and what's been helpful for me, as I've learned over the years. When I first started practice, they kind of threw you in and just you had to fight your way out, figure it out, and I'm not sure that was the best way. Mm-hmm. I'm really more interested in there being some instruction, some kind of guidance, some kind of showing of the ropes. I think you said that phrase, and and then opportunities to demonstrate what you've learned. A give and take process, as far as I'm concerned.
Wow, I'm really excited. I really do feel as if I'm back in college, on the track team, doing the relay, and where we had coach showing us how to pass the baton.
Now, I've watched track meets before, the Olympics and that sort of thing, and it always looks so easy, seamless. You're just running along and seconds go by. But is there more to it than what I'm seeing?
Oh, I would love for them to show where we're running in a line and we're just practicing go, stick, go, stick. And it's a process. It's not easy. It's not something that's simple, but knowing the distance that you are before you say go, and then stick, passing the baton.
If we end up working together, if this works out, I mean, we do drop a baton every now and then, and my philosophy is, well, okay, let's figure that out. That kind of thing happens. We're all human beings, and so be it. But it's a teaching opportunity. It's an opportunity to learn and to do it better next time.
Mm-hmm.